The medical chamber was too quiet. Only the sound of machines could be heard. Soft beeps, slow breathing, a weak heartbeat. On the center table lay the cub, small, golden fur, barely moving. His chest rose slowly, like every breath was a fight. His claws were curled weakly against the cold metal surface. Bright warrior markings on his forehead now looked pale. 5 alien doctors stood around him, tall figures with silver armor and glowing eyes. They were the best medical minds in the system, but even they looked unsure. One doctor checked the floating screen again. His voice was calm, but cold, heart rate unstable, internal organs shutting down. Another doctor adjusted the energy stabilizer. The cure is not working. At the back of the room stood one human, Dr. Alara Hayes. She did not wear heavy armor like the others, only a simple white medical suit with a human insignia on her shoulder. Her brown hair was tied back tightly. Her eyes were focused only on the cub. She had warned them, but no one listened. The cub was not just any child. He was the only son of the High Pack leader, the future ruler of one of the strongest warrior species in the galaxy. If he died, it would not only break a family, it would shake the entire system. One of the alien doctors finally spoke the words no one wanted to hear. His body is rejecting the treatment. Another doctor looked at Alara briefly, then away. The human was correct, but it was too late. The chief medical officer stepped forward. His voice carried authority. We have done everything possible. The machines began to beep slower. Alara felt her chest tighten. No, she said quietly. No one answered her. The chief officer continued. The cub's genetic structure cannot handle the energy density of our serum. His glowing eyes moved to the others. It is time. The room grew even colder. Let the cub go. The words echoed. Alara stepped forward immediately. No. Her voice was stronger now. The doctors looked at her. You do not understand, the chief officer said calmly. The damage is beyond repair. She moved closer to the table. She could see the cub's small fingers twitching. He was still fighting. He is not gone yet, she said. One of the younger doctors spoke carefully. Human medicine is too weak for our species. Alara looked straight at him. It is not weak. It is adaptive. They did not respond. Because to them, humans were emotional creatures. Soft, too attached. Alara reached into her medical kit. Inside was a small silver injector. The doctors noticed immediately. What is that? The chief officer asked sharply. My serum, she replied. The room went silent again. That substance was never approved, one doctor said. It was never tested on our kind. Alara's hands were steady, but her heart was racing. Your cure is too strong. It forces the body to change. Mine listens first. The chief officer shook his head. The cub is not human. No, she agreed softly, but he is alive. The cub's breathing became weaker. A long beat filled the air. Alara looked at the injector in her hand. There was only one dose. If she injected it into the cub, his body might reject it instantly. If she waited, he would die. She made a decision in 1 second. Before anyone could stop her, she pressed the injector against her own arm. What are you doing? One doctor shouted. The serum entered her bloodstream. Her body reacted immediately. Her veins glowed faint blue under her skin. She dropped to one knee. Pain shot through her chest like fire. The doctors rushed forward. You foolish human, the chief officer said. But then something strange happened. The cub's heart monitor changed. The slow beeps became faster. The screen flashed new readings. Energy signals appeared between the two bodies. Thin blue light moved from Alara's chest toward the cub. The doctors froze. This is impossible, one whispered. The serum was not attacking the cub. It was adapting inside Alara first. Her body was fighting it, learning it, changing it. The blue light became stronger. The cub's breathing steadied. His fingers moved. His chest rose deeper this time. Alara fell completely to the floor. Unconscious, the injector rolled away. The chief officer stared at the monitor. The human serum is rewriting itself, using her as a base. Another doctor stepped back slowly. It is syncing with the cub's genetic code. The cub's eyes suddenly opened. Bright gold, clear, alive. The machine stopped giving warning sounds. For the first time in hours, the chamber was silent for a different reason. Not because of death, but because of shock. The cub slowly turned his head. His glowing eyes locked onto the unconscious human lying beside the table. And something ancient moved inside him. A connection, a bond. The room had gone silent before because they thought he was dying. Now it was silent because they realized everything had just changed. And no one knew what would happen next. Fire. The cub did not cry. He did not look confused. He stood up. That alone shocked everyone. Minutes ago, he could not even breathe properly. Now he stood on unsteady legs, golden for slowly regaining its shine. But something was different. His eyes. They were brighter than before. Not just gold. Gold with a faint blue glow inside. The same blue light that still flickered around the unconscious human on the floor. Dr. Alara Hayes was not moving. Her heart monitor was unstable. Her body temperature was rising fast. The chief medical officer stepped back slowly. "This is not medicine," he whispered. "This is fusion." Energy readings on the screen began to spike. The cub's heart rhythm was now matching Alara's. Not similar. Identical. One doctor tried to move closer to Alara. The cub reacted instantly. He growled. It was not the weak sound of a child. It was deep, protective. Warning. The entire room froze. The future pack leader was not defending himself. He was defending her. The chief officer tried to stay calm. Restrain the cub. 2 armored guards stepped forward carefully. The cub's claws extended fully. His fur lifted. The blue glow in his eyes intensified. Suddenly, a pulse of energy burst outward from his body. The guards were thrown back against the wall. Glass panels cracked. Machines flickered. Silence returned again. No one moved. The cub slowly walked off the medical table. His steps were steady now, stronger than before. He went directly to Alara and sat beside her, watching everyone, daring anyone to come closer. The medical scanners began to show something even more shocking. The cub's DNA was changing in real time. Human adaptive markers were appearing inside his cells. His immune system was evolving, faster healing, higher toxin resistance, stronger neural activity. "This cannot be undone," one doctor whispered. Outside the chamber, alarm suddenly activated. The high pack leader had been informed. Heavy footsteps echoed through the hallway. Moments later, the doors opened. The high leader entered. Tall, massive, covered in battle scars. His eyes burned like fire. He looked at his son first, alive, standing, then at the human, lying on the floor, blue light still connecting them faintly. "What did you do?" he demanded. The chief medical officer bowed slightly. "She injected herself." The room stayed silent. The high leader stepped closer. The cub immediately placed himself between his father and Alara. A low growl filled the air. The high leader stopped. The cub had never growled at him before, not even during training. The bond was real, and it was stronger than blood. The medical screen projected new data. Genetic synchronization at 30%, a doctor reported. If the human dies, another added carefully, the cub's system may collapse. The high leader's expression darkened. "So my son's life is now tied to a human?" No one answered, because it was true. Suddenly Alara's body arched slightly. Her eyes opened for a brief second, but they were not normal. They glowed faint blue. She gasped for air. Images flashed in her mind. The cub's memories, his training, his fears, his loneliness. She felt everything. Then she collapsed again. The cub let out a sharp cry, not of weakness, but of pain. He felt her suffering. The doctor stepped back in shock. They are sharing neural signals. The high leader stared at the connection line on the screen. "This is forbidden," one elder doctor said quietly. "Interspecies neural bonding is unstable. It could destroy both." But the cub did not look unstable. He looked stronger, more aware, more focused. The blue glow faded slowly. The energy stabilized. The monitors finally stopped flashing red. Synchronization complete. the system announced. 47% genetic merge. Permanent. The chief medical officer swallowed hard. This is no longer just survival. This is evolution. The High Leader looked at his son again. The cub gently placed one paw on Alara's hand. Carefully, softly, like she was fragile. And in that moment, something changed inside the warlord father. This was no accident. This was choice. His son had accepted her, claimed her, not as a tool, not as a doctor, but as something deeper, something sacred. Outside the chamber, word was already spreading. Other alien councils were watching. A human had altered the bloodline of the strongest warrior race. Fear would rise. Questions would come. And enemies would see opportunity. Inside the silent chamber, the High Leader finally spoke. Seal this room. Guards activated security barriers. No one leaves. No one enters. He turned to the doctors. If she dies, my son dies. His eyes burned brighter. If my son dies, the station burns. No one doubted him. The cub lifted his head. His glowing eyes locked with his father's. No fear, only quiet strength. The High Leader understood. This was no longer about sickness. This was about the future of their species. And that future now breathed because of a human who was still fighting for her life. The bond that should not exist had been created. And the galaxy had just become a far more dangerous place. Fire. The news did not stay inside the station. It never does. Within hours, encrypted signals traveled across the sector. A human altered pack genetics. A forbidden bond was formed. The future pack leader carries human DNA. Other alien races did not see a miracle. They saw a threat. Inside the sealed chamber, Dr. Alara Hayes was still unconscious. But her heart was stable now. The blue glow had faded from her veins. The cub had not left her side once. He had not eaten. He had not slept. He only watched and waited. Outside, the pack council had gathered. Ancient warriors, political leaders, elders with long memories. Their voices were not calm. This is contamination. This is weakness. This is a human trap. The High Pack Leader stood silent in the center. They were afraid, not of the human, but of change. One elder spoke carefully. If enemies learn that the heir is bonded to a fragile human, they will target her. Another added, if she dies, our leader dies. Silence followed. That truth was heavy. The High Leader finally spoke. Then she will not die. Inside the chamber, Ilara's fingers moved. The cub noticed first. His ears lifted slightly. She opened her eyes slowly. The ceiling lights felt too bright. Her chest hurt. Her body felt heavy. But she was alive. The cub moved closer immediately. Their eyes met. For a second, no one spoke. Then something strange happened. She did not need to ask how he felt. She knew, because she felt it too. His strength, his confusion, his loyalty. The bond was real. Not forced, not accidental. Chosen. The doors opened. The High Pack Leader entered alone. He looked at his son, then at Alara. You risked your life, he said calmly. She struggled to sit up. He was a child, she answered simply. He is my heir. He is still a child. The High Leader studied her carefully. You change him. She did not deny it. Yes. Why? She looked at the cub, then back at the warlord. Because no one else would. Outside the station, danger was already moving. A rival alien faction had detected the genetic change. To them, this was opportunity. If they killed the human, the pack would fall into chaos. A stealth attack ship appeared on long-range scanners. Missiles locked onto the medical wing. Inside, alarm suddenly screamed. Incoming strike detected. The council panicked. The High Leader did not. He looked at his son. The cub stood tall now, not weak anymore, not afraid. He turned to Alara, and for the first time, he spoke clearly. 2 simple words. Stay safe. Before anyone could react, the cub's body released a wave of energy. Blue and gold light burst outward like a shield. The missiles hit. The station shook violently. Fire exploded across the outer hull. Smoke filled corridors. But the medical wing remained untouched. Protected, the shield slowly faded. The cub was still standing, stronger than ever. The High Leader stared at him in shock. His son had never shown power like that before. Human adaptation, pack strength, combined. The attack ship tried to retreat, but the pack fleet had already launched. Within minutes, the enemy vessel was destroyed. The message spread even faster this time. The pack air survived direct strike. He used unknown hybrid power. Humans are evolving alien species. Fear replaced doubt. For the first time in history, the galaxy did not see humans as weak. They saw them as dangerous. Back in the chamber, the High Leader walked toward Alara. He lowered his head slightly, a sign of respect. "You are Pack," he declared. Gasps echoed from the council members watching through the glass. "A human cannot be Pack," one elder protested. The High Leader's voice became steel. "She already is." The cub stepped beside Alara, not as a patient, not as a child, but as a future leader. His eyes burned with quiet fire. The council slowly bowed, one by one, because they understood. This was no longer about tradition. This was survival. Alara looked at the cub. "You scared me," she whispered softly. He gave a small sound that almost sounded like a laugh. Outside, the stars were calm again, but the balance of power had changed forever. Other races would think twice now, because they had learned something important. When Doctor said, "Let the cub go," a human did not accept fate. She rewrote it, not with war, not with weapons, but with sacrifice. And the galaxy would never forget the day a human mother was born, not by blood, but by choice. Fire,